Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Wednesday and all of today's guests, including John Shannon, 100% Hockey Podcast, standing by, brought to you by the Vancouver Canadians. Seas on the road in Spokane this week. They return to the Nat next Tuesday night. The next homestand includes a nooner, Women in Sports Day, featuring an appearance from Hazel May, and a White Spot Family Fun Sunday. Check out the full schedule and get your tickets at canadiansbaseball.com or call 604-872-5232. Joined now by John Shannon from the 100% Hockey Podcast as the Stanley Cup playoffs continue. John, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Hello, boys. I'm glad that Rick's going to meet Hazel, because that's another person you can come to Toronto and have breakfast with.
Hey, get ready this summer. Be ready. Be ready.
I'll be ready. I'll see your tweets.
And that'll be the end of John Shannon on Donnie and Dolly. One of the nicest people I've ever worked with. John Shannon, but also Hazel May.
Yeah.
Hey, Hazel May, she's a star. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
And by the way, her husband is a really good broadcaster too. Yeah. She's married to Kevin Barker, who does a lot of stuff on Sportsnet on the radio. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, wow. Absolutely agree. Hey, John, I don't know how you do it, if you pay him or what the deal. We can't get him on the show, but you had Jim Rutherford on your 100% Hockey Podcast on Friday. What do you believe he's looking for in a replacement for Rick Tocchet after that conversation?
Well, I think he's looking for Rick Tocchet.
Well,
but you're not going to get Rick Tocchet. So I think he's looking for someone that does have experience, but also has a direct approach with players. So it's there is a line of guys that want this job, but I think it's just a little too early to figure out how experienced this next coach of the Canucks is going to be. But I think you have to be honest, Donnie, big shoes to fill, because Rick Tocchet, through some tough times, did a pretty darn good job.
Yeah. Jim Rutherford's 76 now, John. Again, you had that conversation with him on Friday. All three of us listened to it. Do you get the sense he's going to be on the job much longer? Is he enjoying himself?
These guys that are former players, they thrive on this. Mm-hmm. They have that competitive edge that the three of us don't have, that they always want to be in the fight. I think as long as Jim's health is there, I can't see him walking away. I also can't see him walking away with the franchise in the condition that it's in. And I think it's even more frustrating for him right now, because I think they thought they were close last year.
Yes.
Let's remember, at this point last year, we were just starting the second round of the playoffs, Canucks Oilers. And the Canucks could have won that series. And so that would have changed a ton of dynamic. So to be that close to a conference final and then take the step back, I think there's something in Jim's DNA that says, I can't leave until we've righted the ship.
Did you get any sense about Manny Malhotra? Adam Foote would be in the same boat as Manny Malhotra. They would be both rookie coaches as head coaches in the National Hockey League. Did you mentioned experience, but these guys have never been head coaches. What's your feeling on Malhotra and Foote?
Well, I think they like Manny a lot, but he just needs more time behind the bench as a head coach. And let's face it, that's one of the great developmental sides of having Abbotsford so close, is being able to keep an eye on him. And Jim talked about Daniel and Henrik being in Abbotsford so much. And I do think Manny Malhotra has a tremendous future in the organization. The way Jim talked about it on Friday was that it wasn't going to be as the head coach this time, but somebody that's going to help this organization for years and years to come. As far as Adam Foote, to be honest, we didn't bring Adam's name up in the conversation, because I don't think it was fair to anybody to start singling out people that aren't in the organization right now. But I'll tell you what, we all know what the job that Adam Foote did. We all know that the defensemen love playing for Adam Foote. And I would think and hope that if he's not the head coach, they would find a way to convince Adam to stay on the staff.
3 Canadian teams left in round 2. Hey, the TV guys got to be loving it over at Sportsnet. John, you know that. Winnipeg, Edmonton, Toronto. What's your gut say about all 3 of these in round 2, these teams?
Could you imagine if all 3 got through?
Oh,
seriously, could you imagine if all 3 teams got through and we ended up with a Winnipeg-Edmonton Western Conference final and guaranteeing a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup final? And the Maple Leafs, I said about 10 days ago, after Game 4 of the Ottawa series, I truly believe that the Maple Leafs might have been the best team in the Eastern Conference at that point. I haven't seen anything other than potentially what's wrong with Anthony Stolarz to deter me of that. But Joseph Woll has played some good goal for the Maple Leafs. He's not Stolarz, so you have to wonder if we see Toronto, Washington, or Toronto, Carolina, and then Winnipeg, Edmonton in the West. It would be wild. It would be great for us. I'm not sure the people in Little Rock, Arkansas would have very much interest in it, though.
John, why is Sam Bennett still in the National Hockey League? I don't understand.
Sam Bennett?
Yeah. Shouldn't he be suspended for the rest of his career?
No. Come on.
I'm joking, John.
Johnny, Four Nations face-off, we loved him.
Of course.
Four Nations face-off, we thought he was great. Yeah, when he was on our side, keep him going.
But I'm just talking about the overreaction in Toronto because nobody brings up the Reinhart shot earlier in the game. He knocked his mask off. He was shaking his head after that. But
I know.
It's kind of fun to watch.
It's aggravating. It's simplicity. Don, you know this. It's not the stories that make people interested. It's the headlines.
Yeah.
And so the headline is Sam Bennett's a goon.
Yeah.
The story isn't that Sam Bennett is one of the most complete players in the game. He's the leading forward scoring for the Panthers. Paul Maurice loves him. And if Sam Bennett was a free agent, one of the top teams to take a bid for him would be the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mm-hmm. So it's the classic case, and we've seen this through all of our lives. The player you hate only because he's playing for the other team, but you'd sure like him on yours, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Remember when he couldn't do a pull-up at the draft combine?
No, he did one.
Oh, he did one. Sorry,
yeah.
Okay.
That's right. And by the way, I mean, this is a classic case. Sam Bennett, as a junior, was a playmaking center for the Kingston Frontenacs, and was a tremendous offensive player. And everybody thought that he was going to be a great scoring player. He has morphed into this, and people are going to laugh, but he's morphed into this complete player as an NHLer and becomes so invaluable. And it's funny, he's now coming back to haunt Brad Treliving, who traded him because he felt he wasn't getting enough offensive out of him. And he's gone to Florida and become a difference maker. And truly, Sam Bennett is a difference maker.
Yeah, I have nothing but respect for players like that who change their game as their career goes on and look and win a Stanley Cup and last a long time. Thanks for this, John.
Have a great day, boys.
You bet.